Homelander?
You boys okay?
Did you know that in Dead Money, the hologram attacks are actually two unobtainable NPC weapons? The only way to get the hologram lasers is through console commands, but one of them uses ammo that doesn't even exist in the game's files. Unlike the player, NPCs can be programmed to bypass the ammo check in their inventory. So the only variant we can test is the Starlet Hologram Laser. It's the stronger one and it uses energy cells. It's been a minute since I played with energy weapons, I haven't seen anyone cover this topic. And so, can you beat Fallout New Vegas with the Hologram Laser? A sequel to The Rain and the weird dream later in the career novel lives to be Homelander. I tailored the stats to the run and the skills and traits to the character, so...
Take it slow now, it ain't a race.
For the special, I'm gonna go with 18 endurance and luck, 6 in strength, intelligence and agility, and 3 in both perception and charisma. Homelander's best skills are energy weapons, speech and unarmed, and the traits that most define him are built to destroy and hot-blooded.
Alright, I guess that about does it.
I'll be playing on very hard difficulty, with hardcore mode on, and let me get this straight. So, we got captured, robbed, shot, tucked in 6 feet under. The only reason we're still turning oxygen into carbon dioxide is cause an AI toaster had a shovel. The entire town knows about it, and the man that did it got away? Ah, this won't do. Do you have any idea what would happen if the news got out?
Go ahead. Release it. Let's light this candle, huh? I mean, sure, I'll lose everything, but then I'll have nothing to lose.
It would be a major embarrassment. No. We need to sort this out, and soon. First, Doc Mitchell. Thanks for patching me up, but you know too much for your own good. I'll also be looting everything that can be useful. The more food and drinks I find now, the less I'll have to worry about survival later. So, second stop. Every single mailbox for the magazines and the schoolhouse. The mantises were a waste of energy cells, but at least we look great in VATS. Cause outside of it, it looks like we've got an invisible pistol. And if I toggle the free camera, we look like we're shooting lasers from our chest. But with VATS, ooh, we're getting cinematic, baby! Unfortunately, I did not have the stats to get the Stealth Boy. I got the goodies from Victor's shack and the rest of the houses, traded in a ton of things I wouldn't use for a lot of cops and the shovel, turned chats into dust, and man, how does that guy know? Nope, I'll just reload and deal with chat later. Come on, it was a sneak kill inside of a building. Then I saw Victor, thanked him, and let him go on his merry way. Might as well just loot everything first. In the cemetery I got some more ammo, the snow globe, and the first clue that Benny left behind. And in the saloon, Sunny goes on to give us a locksmithing magazine and initiates the tutorial. You cannot proceed without using the varmint rifle she gives you, so there we go. I tell her we're done, and Joe Mama's done being nice.
I'm done being nice.
Trudy said hi, I turned the big horner into dust. Victor barely had any time to react, so that's another major witness down. And you can bet that the settlers and the other Brahmin are going to follow suit. By the time I'm done, Good Springs will be a ghost town. It's also free food, the big horners I mean. And for some reason, the guy that quote-unquote saw me before, after dealing with Chet, now had the opposite effect. Now it's Chet that's magically omniscient. Well, too bad. I wanted to make this tidy. I did, but you can't always get what you want. And the priority is silence, not perfection. In the saloon, Easy Pete's a maniac. He had that dynamite ready. Though he knew better than to blow up his friends. Sonny, Cheyenne, Easy Pete. The Good Spring settler by the bar, and Trudy all took but a couple hits. I'd love to say that this is completely broken, but to be fair, Chance's knife would have done the same. We're now vilified, that's funny cause there's no one left to hate me. I get to level 2, improve energy weapons because of the hologram laser, and go for the Lady Killer perk. Now, when I said there was no one left, I meant that in terms of Good Springs' reputation. Ringo's part of the Crimson Caravan, not Good Springs, and he's holed up in the gas station cause Joe Cobb and the Powder Gangers didn't fancy that he defended himself when they tried to rob him. I'm not sure what the townsfolk told Ringo, so after he gives me a caravan card deck, and right before I get some more supplies, I'm gonna make it so Ringo cannot share any news of Good Springs or what happened to me. And to truly finish Good Springs, we still have Joe Cobb to deal with. We know he isn't alone, and I don't know if he overheard anything that he shouldn't, or if he shared that with his gang, so I'm just going to pretend to help him. He's daydreaming about becoming Mayor Cobb, calls his man, tells me to tell him once I'm ready, and my health is looking gnarly. There's no point in wasting steam packs when we can just replenish our health from the water wells. And anyways, I started microwaving. We got vilified by yet another faction. Every single one of the powder gangers took between 1 and 3 hits to be taken care of. I got Joe Cobb's stealth boy, and I stole a piece of faction armor. By wearing it, the other powder gangers nearby will leave me alone. And if I don't, they'll shoot me on sight. This doesn't need to be a kill everyone run, I'm just going for an evil laser eyes one. And speaking of the laser eyes, I need more energy cells. I know that the Good Springs cave that's filled to the brim with coyotes usually has laser pistols, so let's see if we can get some more ammo. An extinction event later, level 3 gets my energy weapon skill to 53 and I found 31 rounds. And then I found another 29. Nice, we just quadrupled our ammo. Now we go after the rest of the clues. Keep on cleansing everyone that knows about this, cause
I'm the Homelander. And I can do whatever the fuck I want.
But before going to Prim, there's some more loot we can get in both Jean and in Sloan, so I checked it. And we got another 30 energy cells on Jean. I also got the food from the truck, dealt with the coyotes, and fuck. I completely forgot that I needed to unequip the Powder Ganger faction armor. These guys, they count as NCR. My bad, but hey, if they're coming at me with sledgehammers, you can fault me for defending myself. Chomp's actually tanked more hits than anyone else so far. It's usually the crits that one-hit enemies, hence me going for a crit build, and as I'm mid-fight, Malcolm Holmes shows up to tell me he's been stalking me. Great, I said no witnesses. Took care of the quarry workers, got the 2 skill books. I have no clue why Jazz Wilkins got paralyzed. And here comes Snuffles! She's a cutie! Dev, do not bite the hand that would have fixed your leg. And if everyone in this forsaken desert wants to shoot on sight, fine, we'll just shoot back. In Prim, an NCR trooper tells us that the town's off limits. But that's not him saying we cannot go in, he's just warning us that the town's been overrun by escaped convicts. I took care of the 2 idiots by the casino and went on to meet Johnson Nash. He is the head of the Mojave Express here in Prim. You know what that means? It means that he knows that we haven't delivered the platinum chip. Can't have that. He also knows someone that has seen the men we're after, the deputy, who's been taken hostage by the rest of the escaped convicts. Before going into the Bison Steve Hotel to get my hands on that information, I'm just gonna make sure that my reputation is intact. A couple steam packs and standing by a door, as everyone came at me one by one, made it a breeze. And the last man standing is a Protectron that's followed 4 Eyebot levels of useless. This thing can't even attack. He's extremely sturdy though, and all this got me to level 4. That's the energy weapon skill raised to 66, I took the educated perk, and if I knew we'd be leaving disintegrated dust all over the floor, I'd have gone for a broom instead of a shovel. Either way, the convicts are still extremely low-level enemies, so to no one's surprise, they were obliterated in no time. I got all of the worthy supplies, and here's the deputy.
I don't suppose you came here to rescue me. I'd cross my fingers, but my hands are numb.
I freed him, betrayed him, got his holotape, and it seems that Benny and the cans that were with him went to Novak through Nipton. On the way, I passed through Jackrabbit Springs, took care of the centaur that was trying to spit on me, got another stealth boy and a weapon repair kit, and made a detour to the Mojave outpost. My inventory was getting quite full, so I went to a traveling merchant to get me a handful of caps.
Hope you aren't here to trade. Not sure you can afford the prices.
And as I went to another one, Lacey tells me she's gonna rip me off. But I've got so much useless junk that she doesn't even realize she's doing me a huge favor. Near Nipton, Thomas and Jacqueline are fighting for his star caps, and here's a fun fact. If you take care of Thomas, he doesn't have them. Jacqueline, she'll come to you, trying to lie to your face, and if you deal with her, Thomas's star cups will now magically show up. And who won the lottery?
Yeah! Who won the lottery? I did!
Yeah, well, have another prize. Further up the road, Vulpes tells us that the town's a bit devoid of cams, hookers, and blackjack. Seems the Legion draws the line at rock and roll. He invites us to spread word of what happened here in Nipton, and since that's easy XP, I'll just go back to the Mojave outpost and let Sergeant Kilborn know.
There's no way.
He's a bit pessimistic about it. Level 5 makes my energy weapon skill go to 81. I avoid the ambush by going alongside the path the Legion uses. And in Wolfhorn Ranch, I get another skill book and a unique cleaver to sell later. In Searchlights, Aster lets us know that if we want a free haircut, we just need to stand idle in the center of town. And in Novak, Victor's back. I power him off, wake up Jeannie May so I can rent out a motel room, use it to replenish my health, feast, barter with Cliff Briscoe, steal that gun, get Manny's holotape, and tie another loose end. I don't know what his con buddies told him, so I ain't risking it. On the way to Boulder City, I see the Lonesome Drifter, and he's done nothing wrong. But I wanted the mysterious Magnum, and that guitar. I also wanted to annoy Private Kowalski.
What the fuck are you doing? My brother died at the Battle of Hoover Dam. You're desecrating a war memorial.
You're a little bitch and your brother was too.
Oh, now it's on.
And hey, 2 hits. Nice. Monroe doesn't care, especially because Kowalski tried to shoot us first, and he's got a situation with some great cons. The same ones we're after.
That courier Benny wasted back in Good Springs. You're supposed to be dead.
Yeah, well, I'm a ghost. Boo. Actually, you're the one who's supposed to be dead. I did wait for him to tell me how Benny betrayed them, how he took the platinum chip, and he's likely on the strip laughing by now. This also triggered level 6. I nearly maxed our main skill, went for the toughness perk, and one-shotted both Jessup and the other guy, thanks to sneak crits. That got me Benny's lighter, Jessup's bandana, some more loot, and outside the cans are going at it with the NCR. With my help, the hostages were returned safely, we get level 7. Energy weapons goes to 100, I start improving medicine, cause there isn't many skills that I'm interested in for this one. And on the way to the 188, we're once again being followed by Victor.
Fancy meeting you here, friend.
I don't think he's gotten the idea right yet, but he'll get there. He also did a pretty cool backflip. And I'm thinking, how about we wreck every single quest we're supposed to do later? I know who I want to side with. From a Homelander role-playing perspective, it's quite simple. I don't want to be a piece in Kaiser's chessboard. I don't want to deal with logistics, so yes man's out. I just need to choose between House and the NCR. They'll keep things cohesive as I step in to save face and humanity, however I deem fit. After trading with the arms merchant and having Samuel repair my armored Vault 13 jumpsuit, which I'm only wearing because this is about the Hologram Laser, not Homelander himself. I made it back to Sloan and went through Bark Scorpions and into Hidden Valley. Near Black Mountain, we'll get the password to visit the Brotherhood. The evolved centaurs gave me a lot of XP. They are so slow that this fight is easy with anything that's ranged. Mo got destroyed in no time, and we learned that the password is the better part of valor. In the bunker, a paladin tells me that Ramos wants to see me in my underwear.
I want you stripped down to your underwear.
And once he does, he must have thought the Elder needs to see this. And so he did. They put an explosive collar around my neck, asked me to go after an NCR ranger that's nearby, and this screams yet another embarrassment that I cannot let anyone know about. A squint later, and McNamara isn't happy.
How do you know he won't be missed? That other rangers won't come looking for him?
I don't. McNamara isn't pissed either. Turns out he thinks that having a brute on the surface could be useful. I'm more interested in the energy cells they got laying around though, in their keycards, in their loot that will fetch a pretty penny, and in pressing 3 buttons. First, I generated a password. Then I activated the self-destruct sequence, became vilified by the Brotherhood of Steel, and then I popped the Stealth Boy. Went for a jog, barbecue's ready, a fast travel to the 188s, and kept on going until Freeside. As I'm going towards Nellis, a couple mad Brahmins started coming after me. I calmed them, permanently, got Abilene, and here comes George, the boomer that's not really part of the boomers. He doesn't even get to talk on this one. How come an NPC that has you wed for half his money can be this forgetful to come back to? Anyways, I don't know why the game was so mad at me, but today it was hell to get to the boomers. Fortunately, it's never an if, it's always a when. And so I made it to the gate, where I once again meet an NPC that really wants me to meet a named NPC that really wants me to meet their elder. And Pearl is a psychopath.
I've been waiting a good 5 years for an outsider to come along and visit.
Did you forget to tell that to the gate guards? And all I need from the boomers is for Loyal and Pearl to go down. Dealing with Loyal and Jack gets me to level 8. I kept improving medicine, took the 2nd rank of the toughness perk, got their sweet loot. The randoms on the way back to Pearl were but a nuisance, and were still 1 to 3 hitting everything. On the way to Red Rock Canyon, I forgot there was a mine past the bridge. No matter, because I did remember that if you drop down near the underpass, go through the Samson Rock crushing plant, make it to this rock, and keep your distance from the buildings, the fiends won't even fire at you. I did encounter some fire geckos though, and then, for some reason, there's an NCR hit squad after me. Is this because of Sloan? Either way, we'll deal with this right here, right now.
Crap. You don't even want to live a few more days? Go. Get laid one more time or something. We're walking away.
The first two got disintegrated with sneak rates, and the rest of them, well, the hologram laser is pretty fast. It did take a lot more hits to deal with the Rangers, so while it's clear to see that this weapon is ridiculously good, we will still have to test it against the Legion's Centurion armor, cause that damage threshold is ridiculous too. In the canyon, I got the turbo and medics they got laying around, as I always do, and I'm not forgetting what the cons helped Benny accomplish. Like Joshua Graham said, make no mistake about it, this is an extermination. I also have no choice, cause this will be needed for me to progress, so yeah. Every single great con in the outside. Jack, Diane, Papa Khan, Carl, the Legion Ambassador, Regis, and the others by the tables. All 15 of them learned a valuable lesson today. When you make enemies on purpose, you don't get to complain about vendettas. Oh, and Bitter Springs was completely deserved. It wasn't right, but two things can be true at the same time. What happened to the cons was no different than what they were dishing out to others for years. Level 9 was more of the same. I then went into the Crimson Caravan to trade with Blake, and in Freeside I asked Mick to do some repairs for me. A couple thugs had really poor judgment. I tried helping the kid that really wants giant rat for dinner and...
Yeah, what do you want?
Stupid brat! You know what?
I'll forgive you. This time.
I took a nap in the old Mormon fort, ate and drank, got some aid items from Julie and went to the Silver Rush to stock up on energy cells. For some reason, the energy weapons shop didn't have energy cells. Right. Moving on. Into the King's School of Impersonation. I need Pacer to open the door, and I don't have enough speech, so 50 caps later, and I get to complain to the king that Pacer's ripping people off. I get my 50 caps back, and go on to rip the king in two. Well, it was more of a cooking, boiling, plasma, whatever you want to call it. Now, this? Rex? In 3 hits? Now that's a goated weapon. Okay, I've got the skill maxed, but still. This is amazing. As you can imagine, if Rex went down this easily, so did the rest of the kings. Pacer and the rest of the boys didn't stand a chance. Outside, the rest of them weren't too pleased, but that changed swiftly when they met the same fate as the others. Old Ben then warns us about the Securitron cap check. We gotta have 2,000 caps to get in. They won't take them. House just doesn't want brokies near his casinos. Speaking of which, I did House a solid and gave the squatter the only right he should have. After making the Securitron count 2,000 bottle caps one by one, Victor. It seems that I just cannot get rid of him, so we'll just go straight to the source. Mr. House finally gets to meet the courier that was to carry the platinum chip to him. He offers to quadruple the initial pay for the delivery, 1,000 caps instead of 250. I get the snow globe from the cocktail lounge, give the ones I've gathered to Jane, we're 4,000 caps richer, and I go back to get my full health back from the bed in the presidential suite. Upon leaving, an NCR trooper hands us a letter. Ambassador Crocker would like to meet, and we will. Just not quite yet. First, we'll go to Gamora, and I'll refuse to hand out my hologram laser. The greeter gets obliterated.
I'm gonna clip your sorry ass.
No, I'm gonna clip your sorry ass. Who do you think you are? Our only target here is Big Sal. Everything went as smoothly as it has been. The big man didn't even know what hit him, and funny enough, he mistakenly shielded the guy behind him. I took care of it, didn't much care about loose ends on this one, and it's finally time to get into the tops. I read a speech magazine, showed Swank all the clues I've gathered, asked him if he's willing to go against Mr. House, and no. He is much happier running a casino than he was before their previous tribe rebranded into the chairman. And in Benny's room, we find Yes Man, who goes on about every single detail of Benny's plan. To use the platinum chip to control Vegas through the upgraded Securitron army that House stashed under Fortification Hill. Back in the ground floor, I went for Benny's bodyguards, took them all down, and Benny's just staring at the horizon. Didn't aggro, didn't acknowledge it, in fact, he's a bit slow.
You want a reason? How about 4? They're called bodyguards, and every one of them is packing. Me too, so baby makes 5.
This got me to level 10, I rounded speech to 30 just in case, kept making my steam packs more useful, took the finesse perk and flattened Benny.
Guess that makes me the boss. Ring-a-ding.
Outside, Vulpes shows up. It seems that everyone wants to get a hold of Homelander, and fortunately for the others, I've made up my mind. I took the Mark of Kaiser, went back to the Lucky 38, used the chip to access the empty chamber in the control room, and took everyone's favorite cyborg mummy out of his pod.
You're not the real heroes. I'm the real hero. I don't make mistakes. I'm not just like the rest of you. I'm stronger. I'm smarter. I'm better. I am better. You people should be thanking Christ that I am who and what I am because you need me. You need me to save you.
I'm sure you've noticed that things are a little...
You do.
House saw the Stare of Death. Level 11 was more of the same. I'm basically a surgeon by now, and I purposely failed everything I could have for the NCR's questline. The Brotherhood was impossible to not mess up, but at the very least, I didn't do it for them. Crocker's first request is to either ally or eliminate the Boomer's leadership. That's done. His second request is to wait 24 hours. The third is to investigate the Kings without killing the King. Whoopsie.
Oh, I've already heard. Pacer is dead. The Kings are up in arms. The entire area is gripped by chaos and the violence has only increased. In fact, I've heard that many are assuming the NCR did it without even looking into the matter.
Stolen valor. Okay, to be fair, it is a false accusation that got pinned on them. But that was unavoidable given how things branched out. And with all this out of the way, we're now tasked with reporting to Colonel Moore at Hoover Dam.
And I trust we never have to have this conversation again.
First, she wants us to do something about the cons, which I did do something, alright. Then she wants us to investigate the Omertas. I can only lie and say they're perfectly clean, instead of saying that I got them into disarray by taking care of Big Sol. So, the NCR will be caught by surprise once Operation Racket begins, and they try to take over the strip during the second battle of Hoover Dam. But the Omertas canonically get destroyed in no time, no matter what. She also wants the Brotherhood to be annihilated. I told her about the barbecue we had, and so, for the final task before the endgame, we are to rescue President Kimball from an assassination attempt. I went over all the details with Ranger Grant and listened. I listened a lot. Takes a long time for the sniper to pull the trigger, and we can finally deliver the bad news. Everything that could have gone for the NCR has. And with Colonel Moore's section done, we are to report to General Lee Oliver. He had the brightest idea. The NCR should bring the battle to the Legion instead of waiting. We are to attack the Legion's camp, where Lanius and his Praetorians and veterans are stationed. This got me to level 12, I maxed medicine, put the rest of the points into unarmed, and took the Fight the Power perk. And in comes an NCR trooper with an unexpected report. Well, unexpected to the general. The Legion is storming the power station. Legionaries are coming in from the intake tunnels, and so our full focus is now to make haste to the Legion's camp and to take out their legates. Outside of Oliver's compound, an engineer tells us how we can stop the Legion from coming in the intake tunnels. I say, there's 1,000 of you. There's only one of me. How about you assign some of your rangers instead of asking me to do literally everything? After running from the same copy-pasted room 4 times, we finally make it to the road. The Legion is coming in hot. The first hit I did on a Kenturian was worrisome, but before I was able to put a thought together, a critical hit destroyed his health bar. We're back to an average of 3 hits, this time per Kenturian. I make it to the checkpoint, cross it. And on the east side, an NCR Ranger veteran commander. Damn, that's a mouthful. Anyways, it's the Alpha Squad reporting in. Their only job is to assure that I get to the legates. At least that's how he says it. In reality, they'll just engage the Legion here in the east side. The second I enter the legates camp, I'm on my own. And then a bunch of Kenturians just positioned themselves as if they were playing Connect 4, and all dropped like pins. A mongrel whimpered. A Kenturian questioned all of the life choices he's made until this moment, and we're in. The first kill gets me the Lord Death perk, and the first Praetorian Guard met the same fate as the Prime Legionaries. This got me to level 13, I just kept improving unarmed, because at this point it doesn't matter, and this was brutal. For them. It was brutal for them. I had one last meal, took some medics and some psycho, and introduced myself.
And who are you to come before me? You bear the insignia of the bear. yet you do not wear it as a soldier of the West wears it.
Is your idiot brain getting fucked by stupid?
I asked him if Kaiser couldn't have come in person. He said he is his hammer. And so we are to remind Linnaeus that a hammer, when beheaded, is but a stick. I spammed the hologram laser and he tanked it like a champion. Don't get me wrong, he still went to mid-health in a blink in terms of time, but that was a lot of shots. As usual, he is programmed to flee for a bit, only to come back with reinforcements. That gave me time to deal with the 2 Praetorian guards that were just by him, and as he's returning, he went on to become one of those noodle flavor packs. As for the rest of the legionaries, oh, they kept screaming that this wasn't fair, but neither is that money. And most importantly, can you beat Fallout New Vegas with the hologram laser? It would actually be a sight to behold if you couldn't. Yeah, of course you can. As always, remember to check the playlist for more challenges and the channel for more videos. If you want to help me out, click that like button, leave a comment, join as a member if you want more of these, and I'd like to give a big shout out to Steve Whittle, to John Walker, and to Glitchtail for their support of the channel. And to you, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I'll see you on the next one. And I hope you have a good one. Bye.
Kind of curious how this is going to pan out in the long run, but I guess history will tell us in its own sweet time.